If you're thinking about putting money into Bitcoin, here are 5 things that you should know to feel more prepared about your investment. Bitcoin is everywhere. It's in your TikTok feed, it's in your Instagram feed, your group chats, even your parents are bringing it up at the family dinner. And then there are the wild claims about how Bitcoin helped Trump get reelected, or how Bitcoin is going to be replacing the dollar. FBI, open up! So, what exactly is Bitcoin? Why is everyone so obsessed with it? And more importantly, why should you care about it? I'm Eric, aka Ericnomics, and I'm on a mission to make financial knowledge and investing fun and easy to understand for everybody. Whether you're new to investing or a seasoned pro, I will help you stay up to date with all the latest investing opportunities. Today, we're going to be diving into the hottest asset in the world, Bitcoin. And you're going to learn 1, the origin story of Bitcoin and how it came about the 2008 financial crisis. 2, why so many people are buying Bitcoin and what is it actually used for. 3, a 3-step framework for you to invest in Bitcoin safely to avoid beginner's mistakes. 4, the legal and regulatory challenges caused by Bitcoin. And 5, the future prospects of Bitcoin. This is going to be your ultimate one-stop shop to Bitcoin. No BS, just all the real stuff that you need to know to make an informed investing decision. And if you like content that makes investing easy and engaging, hit that like button, subscribe, it's completely free and it helps me continue making videos for you guys. If you're ready, let's go. The origin and background of Bitcoin. All right, let's rewind back to 2008, a year that most of us remember as the beginning of the great financial crisis. The stock markets crashed, big banks failed, and people started realizing how fragile our traditional financial systems really were. And out of the chaos came a mysterious figure, maybe a group of people, called Satoshi Nakamoto. Nobody exactly knows who they are to this day, but what they did in 2008 changed the global view of digital currencies forever. Satoshi published a groundbreaking white paper called Bitcoin, a peer-to-peer electronic cash system. Sounds fancy, right? But in simple terms, this was the birth certificate of Bitcoin. The white paper described a system where people could send money directly to each other. No middleman, no banks, no crazy fees. Think about how much you pay in bank fees or credit card charges just transferring your own money. Satoshi wanted to fix that by creating a digital currency that was totally decentralized. Here's where Bitcoin becomes really special. It's decentralized. This means that no single company or government controls it. Instead, it runs on a global network of computers called nodes that works together to verify transactions like a giant, super transparent ledger that anybody can see and nobody can really tamper with. So, why is this such a big deal? Well, because decentralization makes Bitcoin resistant to censorship, fraud, and corruption. Unlike traditional currencies where governments can print more money whenever they want, or banks can freeze your account, Bitcoin puts you in control. It's like having a digital wallet in your pocket, but instead of cash, you have an asset that operates on math, code, and transparency. At that time, some innovative minds were inspired by Bitcoin and realized that it wasn't just an invention, it was a revolution. It showed the world that we don't need to rely on traditional financial systems anymore. And one of those inspired minds was Vitalik Buterin, the founder of Ethereum. Today, Bitcoin is not only the first decentralized currency, but also the foundation to thousands of other cryptocurrencies that came after it. All right, now you know where Bitcoin came from and why it's so important. Let's move on to the next big question. Why are people buying Bitcoin? You're hearing all the buzz about Bitcoin from your friends are buying it, your favorite influencers are talking about it, and you're wondering, what's the big deal? Why are people so obsessed with this thing? First, let's talk about how Bitcoin actually works for regular people, including you and me. Imagine this, you're sending money to your friend in another country. Normally, you'd go through a bank or a service like PayPal, and they would take a cut. Plus, it takes several days. With Bitcoin, you cut out the middleman. Transactions happen between you and the other person thanks to this technology called the blockchain. The blockchain is like a giant public ledger that records every Bitcoin transaction ever made. And instead of one central authority controlling it like the bank, it's maintained by thousands of computers around the world. This makes it super secure, transparent, and nearly impossible to hack. That's the technology behind Bitcoin. But what is it actually used for? The 3 most common utilities: digital gold, medium of exchange, and investment. First, think of Bitcoin as digital gold. Just like gold, the creator of Bitcoin made it limited where there's only 21 Bitcoins ever to be minted. That scarcity makes it valuable, especially for people in countries where their local currencies are losing value fast due to inflation. Bitcoin helps them preserve their wealth. Second, Bitcoin is great for payments. Let's say you want to send money to someone across the world. With Bitcoin, you could do that in a matter of minutes with lower fees than banks or other payment providers such as PayPal. No middleman, no delays. And third, people buy Bitcoin as an investment. Over the years, Bitcoin price has gone up quite a lot. It's super volatile, meaning the price have gone up really quickly and also down really quickly. But for long-term investors, many see it as a way to build their wealth over time. Now let me ask you, who do you think is actually using Bitcoin? Are you using Bitcoin or are you just a value investor? Let me introduce you to the people that are in the countries that are less economically stable. In places like Venezuela or Argentina, where local currencies can lose half its value overnight, Bitcoin is an alternative currency that really comes in handy. It lets people store their wealth in something that isn't controlled by the government. Finally, the most common group of people who actually needs Bitcoin are the investors. These are the people who bet on the growth of the cryptocurrency or hedge against the stock market or inflation. So whether it's to protect your money, make global payments, or invest for the future, Bitcoin is becoming a tool for millions of people around the world. And now you know why people are buying it. Who else do you think is buying Bitcoin? There's a special group of people that I haven't mentioned. Comment down below your guesses and what you think their reason for buying Bitcoin is. Hint, they're the really big players. Ericnomics' 3-step framework to investing in Bitcoin. Here's a quick investing guide for you if you're interested in Bitcoin. However, I want you to remember very carefully, Bitcoin is not your get-rich-quick scheme. You're not going to get rich overnight or a couple of weeks or a couple of months by investing into crypto. With proper investing mindset and strategy, it is possible to generate a decent return on investment. Here's my Bitcoin investment return on investment. I'll teach you a simple 3-step framework that you can follow too. Step 1, choosing a reliable exchange. This will be one of the most overlooked but yet important steps. You need to pick a good exchange because we all saw exactly what happened with the collapse of FTX, which was once the second largest exchange in the world. These are the things that I look for in an exchange. Number 1, does the exchange have proof of reserve? This is a report that is published publicly to show that the business has the funds to back up their client's deposit. Number 2, does the exchange use a qualified custodian? This is a separate, trusted entity that holds onto clients' crypto assets safe. And number 3, does it have a wide variety of tokens to trade from? I personally use both Coinbase and Gemini because they fulfill all those 3 requirements for me. They are some of the few exchanges that operate in New York State, which are held to the highest standard. Many of the other big exchanges doesn't operate here because of the strict requirements, so this gives me some peace of mind. If you're interested in signing up, you could use my link in the description down below for some extra bonuses when creating an account. Step number 2, learn to read the price charts and simple indicators for long-term investing. Bitcoin makes most of its gains in 10 trading days. In fact, if you exclude 10 of the best trading days, the average returns will be negative. Now, every year will be different, but the idea is that Bitcoin moves very fast in short time periods. Take this year, for example. Most of the gains happened during February and November, but for the rest of the 9 months, it was trading pretty sideways. Which leads me into my next point. The easiest strategy is to simply dollar cost average, because I could assure you that 90% of the people out there will not have the diligence or the grit to buy when there's panic and blood on the streets. It's going to feel like you're catching a falling knife and you'll be questioning yourself if you actually did the right move. So when you set your investments on auto purchase, which completely removes the emotion out of it, you'll be just fine. But if you think you have the diligence and the grit to be unemotional, then a simple indicator you can look at is simply the fear and greed index. This is a simple index from 0 to 100 showing the market sentiment of the crypto industry. When it's at 60 to 100 range, that is in greed territory. You'll be seeing things go up like crazy and everyone's gonna be trying to buy in and everything is feeling euphoric. This is when your friends and family, your barbers, your Uber drivers will be talking about it. This has been a simple but yet reliable indicator showing the top. Then, on the flip side, when the index is between 0 and 40 range, this indicates fear territory. We may start to see things start to sell off, and this would be a wise time to consider buying. But it will be hard because there will be a lot of red, but this is the most optimal time that you should be buying, and you will be questioning yourself if this is a good time to get in. But I can assure you, if you hold on long enough, you'll be just fine. Step number 3. Plan your portfolio allocation for Bitcoin wisely, according to your risk appetite. The golden ticket is to diversify your portfolio across different asset classes, including bonds, real estate, commodities, and even crypto. But remember, crypto is an extremely volatile asset. It's not uncommon to see double-digit percentage swings in either directions. It's high risk, high reward, meaning you have to allocate the correct percentage of crypto to your portfolio and risk tolerance. You need to walk in with the mentality that the money that you're going to be putting in is already gone. And I personally wouldn't recommend putting more than 10% of your portfolio into crypto unless you have high conviction and you're fully acknowledged that this is an extremely volatile asset class that you could potentially lose it all. If you find this simple investing guide helpful, don't forget to like this video and let me know if you want to learn more about my investing strategies for stocks and crypto. Legal and regulatory aspects of Bitcoin. Now, I want to give you some interesting reality about Bitcoin. Its legal status. Where is it legal? Why is it banned? What's the deal with all this regulation? Let me simplify it for you. First, the good news. In most places, Bitcoin is legal. Countries like US, Canada, and the UK allow you to buy, sell, and use Bitcoin. But they've added some rules to keep things in check, like taxes and anti-money laundering regulations. Basically, the government wants to make sure people are not using Bitcoin to do anything shady. But then you've got places like China that have straight up banned it. Why? They're worried about financial instability and losing control over their economy. So if you're in China, sorry, decentralization doesn't seem to be happening. And then there's El Salvador. This tiny country in Central America went all in on Bitcoin. They made Bitcoin an official currency. You can literally buy a cup of coffee with Bitcoin over there. Now, how are the world's largest pro-crypto government bodies involved in regulating Bitcoin and other digital currencies? In the US, Bitcoin is treated like property. So if you sell it for a profit, the IRS wants a piece of that pie. Capital gains taxes, baby. In Europe, the European Union are working on unifying crypto law called MiCA to make things clearer and safer for everybody. Get this, in India, they are taxing Bitcoin like crazy. 30% on any gains and even 1% tax every time you transfer it. Depending on where you live, the rules can affect you on how you buy, sell, or even use Bitcoin. Always check your local regulations to stay on top of the safe place. No one wants a surprise tax collection letter from the government later down the line. Now, an interesting food for thought is if government regulations are enforced, are we still on our way to achieving decentralization? What do you think? Please share your thoughts with me. Future prospect of Bitcoin. The final piece of information that you should know is what's next for Bitcoin. Where is Bitcoin going tomorrow? First off, Bitcoin isn't just sketchy internet money anymore. It's become a serious asset within the financial markets. Its market cap has crossed over $1 trillion in the past, and now we're starting to see some big players from the traditional finance space like BlackRock and Fidelity investing into it. The stock exchanges have also started listing multiple Bitcoin ETFs, giving traditional investors an easy way to join the party. Think of it this way. Bitcoin is now on Wall Street's radar, and that's a huge step towards making it a mainstream financial asset right alongside stocks and gold. However, Bitcoin isn't perfect. It's got its hurdles to overcome, and the most significant barrier remains the government regulations. Governments are still figuring out how to handle Bitcoin. Some places like the US are somewhat embracing it, while others like China are saying no way. It's a completely mixed bag. There's also implications of environmental impacts. Mining Bitcoin uses a ton of energy, which raises the concern of its carbon footprint. But more miners are switching over to renewable energy, which could help in the long run. So, is Bitcoin the future of money? Only time will tell. But one thing is for sure, it's here to stay within our financial markets. Whether you see it as an investment or payment system or digital gold, always understand what you're investing in first before putting your money into it. I hope this video has been helpful for you. Please give me a free thumbs up and subscribe to the channel for more realistic investing content. If you'd like to see more exciting investment tips, follow me on Instagram and TikTok where I make daily investing market updates.